Hi, everyone. You probably know us. I'm Mark Davenport. I'm here with
Heidi Hahn.
yes, and we were so looking forward to join you in Hungary, but I'm afraid health problems have arisen, and it's impossible for us to go.
For us to come to the conference is really such a highlight in our lives, meet our friends, meet new people, and then this different atmosphere of being in a group of people like that. It's you rarely ever get that. So, and we are learning new things, and we wanted to contribute things which we have learned, and last not least, enjoy the Hungary tour, the magical tour with the bus. But unfortunately, we cannot come because, as Mark said, he is severely ill. You want shortly to talk about it?
Sure, I can. Less than 2 months ago, maybe 6 weeks, I began to suffer from a terrible cough that did not end.
And you were weak at Easter and our Easter fest, the first time he had to lie down.
Yeah.
And the week afterwards, he fell on a excursion we did to the lake. And the week afterwards, on Sunday, we wanted to talk to our friend, doctor, and I gave you the telephone. And this was such a cough that she said, you have to go to the emergency room.
Right. Pronto soccorso, immediately. And which I did, and that led to a hospitalization and extensive tests, which were kind of slow and dragged out with a lot of boring time in between, but people got to observe me closely. And eventually we did get around, and finally we got a diagnosis. And it is cancer, and it is centered in the lungs, evidently, but it also has metastasized to some other parts of the body, which means I can't use a localized treatment, at least for starters. And we are starting that this week.
So now for us is the challenge to walk our talk, because as you might know, and we wanted to do, at least you wanted to do the talk about conscious aging again, which we started at the last conference. We have invited a lot of guests to our live conversations on the internet, in the wisdomfactory.net, and we were talking about conscious aging. And now, as I said, it's a challenge because now it's not necessarily aging connected. People can get ill also before, but definitely with aging, it's more likely that you get ill. And so how do we meet this challenge in a good way, in a, let's say, a second-tier way, and not get lost into self-pity and whining?
No self-pity?
No.
I can't feel sorry for myself?
No, ogni tanto. Every now and then you can, but not generally, and not to lose the hope and even embrace the uncertainty of, you don't know how it ends, and maybe we will be separated and in this life, and maybe before. Who knows what it ends? The preoccupations are a lot, but we didn't want to annoy you with that. We actually wanted this time to talk about, how our series went. We had a lot of marvelous guests, some of which you might know. Terry Patton was there. Who else was there?
Oh my goodness.
The integral. We will post a photo and you will see everybody. And there were many people who you might not know, but they are still operating in an integral-like field. There were researchers, which I like, especially a researcher about the influence of singing on keeping your voice and not getting a feeble voice.
She's a singer, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Then we had meditation and yoga and...
Oh, we also had some, really mind-bending stuff like life extension.
Also that.
Yes.
And we had Vivian Carson about getting older without big pharma. And we had Ashton Applewhite, who is a really active activist on ageism. So we had really a huge, how do you say, palette?
Panorama.
Panorama of guests about how horse riding is good for older women. And how, that was the other one I really liked, how dogs, pets are good when you get older. And many, many, many other topics from all sorts of areas.
And of course, different ways to live once you get past that time when you want a big house and, want to reduce it to something smaller and join in with other people that you can relate to without going to the old-fashioned nursing home that maybe our parents and grandparents are familiar with.
And hopefully we can avoid that.
Yes.
And so please pray with us that Mark can get well again, at least keep a status quo and can be alive a long time so that next time we can come to the conference.
And pray for this lady too, because she's right now the primary caretaker.
Yeah, and I'm quite stressed, I have to say. Maybe you see it. So, that's for me the challenge, to not get completely overwhelmed and do what I need to do and don't forget myself and find support who is, helping me to keep this role.
Yes.
As we know from Ken Wilber, it's not easy. We might go to a retreat of meditation.
Yes, we could.
Maybe we could together.
And we also hope to continue with our series.
And we invite you, when you have something to say about conscious aging, either because you are getting older and have some experience, or you know somebody who has experience and wisdom to share with the world, please come, and put us into contact with those people who you think is a fit for our conversations. It must not be scientific research. It can be, but it must not be. It's
doesn't
experience.
Have to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always wrong. I'm living in 3 languages, so it's really difficult to keep track of what I'm saying. So enjoy the conference. We are very unhappy not to be with you. And we say in German, drück die Daumen. Keep the prayers that next time we will be with you again. Okay? Thank you.
Bye-bye.